We have Young Yeah here. Stuff going on with PlayStation. People that already have PlayStation, would you recommend a PlayStation to people despite stuff that is going on? Like, I'm very curious about that. Because we've seen price increases for like the consoles that happened twice. Now the price of online multiplayer is up and people are upset about that now. So let's see. Be sure to also go check out Young Yeah over here and subscribe to this guy. Okay. And also, if you guys do like this channel, make sure to drop a like over here, subscribe to this channel too. All right, let's see. Let's get caught up to PlayStation. What's going on here with PlayStation?
That is impacting prices in gaming, but there's only so much that excuse goes before you start to feel like these price increases are becoming excessive and stingy. And that is the case with the latest price increase from PlayStation, who are going to increase PlayStation Plus prices amidst all the other price increases that have already occurred. This is the tweet that PlayStation published recently. Quote,
okay, so this has already happened. Okay, that's crazy, but okay.
Starting May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions. Due to ongoing market conditions, that's been the excuse for every price increase. Yeah. Prices will start at $11 for
due to market conditions, tariffs, all that stuff.
A 1-month subscription and $28 for a 3-month subscription. This price change does not apply to current subscribers, except in Turkey and India, unless the existing subscription changes or lapses. Now, of course, PlayStation is leaving out the specifics of what old prices versus new prices are like. That's just typical of these kinds of announcements because they don't want people to have a comparison point. Right. But to give you an idea, what we're looking at is essentially PlayStation Plus Essential increasing its price by $1 for the 1-month subscription. So from $10 to $11. And then the 3-month subscription was once upon a time $25. It's increasing by $3 to now $28.
Here's my question. And the thing is, I never did online PlayStation Plus or whatever. I've never done their thing. I've always been Xbox Live from the very beginning of Xbox. Do they have like different tiers? Is that what that is? Like, do they have like is it like, so, okay, I just answered my own question by just looking at this. My bad. It's a 1-month subscription and then 3 months. Do they have a 1-year subscription? Does anybody know? Console still charging for online in 2026 as well to me. It makes, I mean, I can see why, because you are using their services. So I mean, it makes sense. But then also back then it was like exclusivity and things like that as well. But mainly it's because of the hardware, and it's like Microsoft exclusive, Sony exclusive hardware. So like because you're using their hardware, you have to pay for their services, if that makes sense. I think that's where my mind is going towards, because I think it's crazy too. But then again, it's like you are using, I have an Xbox Series X, so it's like I'm using all their Microsoft's hardware and all their software and stuff like that, and their features and everything, against my will. But and the reason why I say that is because of the updates, like random automatic updates that you get where you can't opt out of, or you can opt out of. But the thing is, you just won't be able to play online because you don't want to update your console. All right, so there are 2. So I answered my own question. Okay, so there are 2, but maybe there's a third for a year, like how Xbox Live is. I don't know.
And PlayStation Plus Essential, for those who don't know, is the entry-level PlayStation Plus subscription that grants you some of the most basic features beyond monthly games. It's what gets you access to online multiplayer.
Well, I would say this okay. $10 for a month is kind of crazy. $25 for 3 months is crazy. That is kind of crazy. But then it makes sense because it's like, well, if you pay the 1 month every time, 30, and then after that, so 25. Yeah, so that makes sense. 12 months, that is a little steep. That is a little steep. And this is coming from a guy that paid $60 a month, like the past almost 20 years. I don't know. To me personally, it's just not worth it. But for me, it's one of those lazy things where it's like you just want to pay one time and then just forget playing until later on you're like, oh shoot, I can't access online anymore. Why can't I access online? Oh, my membership is now a silver instead of a gold. Let me go ahead and just re-up. But then what I do is I go and purchase a card. I go purchase a card from GameStop and then manually put it into Xbox that way. So then I don't have card. So like my card's not being charged randomly. And be like, oh yeah, here's you have a reoccurring charge, because I've dealt with that in the past too, and I hated that.
That is the key story here. The way they're making access to online functionalities a little less financially viable for the general masses. Now, from what I understand, everything else does stay the same. So the 12-month subscription for Essential will not change its price, and Extra and Premium prices will all remain where they are. But not everyone can afford these higher tier subscriptions like Extra and Premium. A lot of
And the crazy thing is, like, it's sad to say, like, this has become, it's starting to go away from like a hobby from like for the general public, and now going into the realm of like rich people and stuff like that. It sucks. And then also the thing is, it's like looking at these membership prices and stuff, just saying, and then comparing it to like the type of games that come out and everything. Is it worth it? Is paying $10 a month, $25 for 3 months, $80 for a year, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Are the games that have came out for like the past 5-10 years, is it worth it? I don't know.
People just stick to Essential because they have to, due to it granting one of the key functionalities of any gaming console, online gaming. And so in that fundamental aspect of gaming is seeing an upcharge of an additional $1 for the 1-month subscription, an additional $3 for the 3-month subscription. I mean, that's money that does add up, and PlayStation knows this. In fact, there's plenty of data suggesting that most of the subscriber base of PlayStation Plus are in the Essential tier. As you can see here, by year, in 2022, 2023, 2024, the biggest piece of the pie consistently is PlayStation Plus Essential by a pretty significant margin. And of course, not everyone gets the yearly subscription. Some people subscribe for a month because they know that they might be gaming more on a certain month than others. Same with the 3-month subscription. It just gives people more flexibility. Whereas the yearly subscription, it's like you're locked in. You do pay less, but you know, to get the most value out of it, you have to be gaming every month, like pretty consistently.
Again, people are just like how I am. People just buy, they just want to do it buy one time and not have to think about it, like not think about it for a whole year, which is fine, instead of like constantly be like, oh, like, hey, this game is about to come out, hey, is my subscription about to be up before this game comes out, or before I'm about to finish this game, things like that.
It should come as no surprise that the backlash surrounding this has been swift and severe, with this post already garnering 14.6 million views, with tons of interactions from the gaming community in the comment section, as well as in the quote tweets, with one of the top comments with 34,000 likes being from Ben here, saying blaming market condition is insane. It should be free to play online games without paywalls in 2026.
I do that with Game Pass, so I don't gotta pay full price on a game if it's there, if it's on there. If it's a game if I'm just not sure about, I'm skeptical about, then usually I just watch people's streams and stuff. I'd never used Game Pass. I never did. So honestly, I don't really have say in Game Pass or anything. But I can see if it's like, oh yeah, if there's a game that you want to try out, sure. I just usually watch people's live streams and stuff, and then come up with my thoughts and opinions if I want to get the game, is it worth me wanting to try the game or not. If it's a game for sure that I know I'm gonna get, usually I'll get it. Well, I wouldn't say usually, but like rarely I'll buy it from the get-go, like I did with Battlefield 6. Other games, I usually tend to wait 1 to 2 months to see where the game is and how it's gonna do, and then if there's any bugs or anything, hopefully the bugs are already addressed and patched. Let me put it that way. That's just me personally, because I'm at the point where I'm tired of just buying games like right off the rip. Mainly it's just the multiplayer ones, but buying games that are like right off rip, that are like super buggy, that are game breaking, that you cannot progress through because of a bug that hasn't been addressed, that shouldn't be in there at the end of its cycle. It should be addressed, ironed out and everything during the development playtest stage and things like that. So
one thing, if Essential was genuinely really optional and it didn't have the online functionality of the console paywall behind it, but the fact that you have to pay for PlayStation Plus Essential to engage with, you know, live services which are completely online, and with many games requiring online connections in order to access them, with more and more digital gaming products being
sorry, I keep pausing, but like that's also another thing, like why people like what do you call it? A lot of people like Battlefield, or not Battlefield, Xbox. They're not really bent out of shape about it, which it's fair, honestly. People with the Xbox, they understand everything because of what's going on. Let me put it that way. How would I say this? Because we've been doing it from the beginning. Now the difference is with Xbox is that we were paying for the online service for like playing it like Xbox Live Party Chat, but also they did have an offline component to the game that people could still enjoy. Whereas what he was just saying, everybody is like every game is required online. In order for you to play the game, you have to play online, so you have to pay for that extra, which I think it is pretty wild. It's pretty dumb.
Blocked by online verification and the like. This kind of paywalling is pretty egregious, especially when you're increasing prices for a subscription that has no manufacturing behind it, that has no distribution behind it. It's a completely digital service. Like with hardware, you can justify market conditions as the reason for why you're increasing prices for them, because RAM and SSD and just computing component prices have legitimately gone up as a result of AI gobbling up all of those components to build their data centers. But increasing prices for a subscription model, that's one that many will agree cannot be justified by the excuse of market conditions. People highlighting just how many things you have to pay for and how expensive the hobby of gaming has become, as now you have to pay for internet, pay to play online with PlayStation Plus Essential, and then you of course have to pay to buy games alongside paying for cosmetics, paying to win, paying to lose, pay for DLC. Gaming is fun and relaxing, says this.
I don't know. Pay for internet, yeah. Pay to play online, yep. Pay to buy the game, yep. Pay for cosmetics, you don't have to. Pay to win, yeah. Pay to lose, yeah. And then pay for DLC. The funny part is the pay to lose portion. If I recall, it's buying buying battle passes and things like that. Like a lot of people don't want to put in the grind for it. They just want to immediately just buy this stuff and then be able to access it. Again, it's if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead and do it. But the downside to it is you can't complain afterwards, say there isn't any content because I already did everything. No, you didn't do everything. You bought everything. And that's the problem.
Individual. Here's another top comment saying, due to economic conditions for consumers, we will unsubscribe. And then someone else here aptly highlights how all this comes amidst price increases for the PlayStation 5 consoles themselves, which is something that has happened twice now. Nick Tech here says, first you guys increase PS5 prices and now you increase online subscription prices. Yeah. What the hell? And, you can see right here, the backlash is pretty severe. Same thing goes for when you look at the quote tweet surrounding this particular message, with one of the top posts with, 34,000 likes and over 1 million views saying, hot take, online gaming should be completely free. There's a completely arbitrary price with no real benefit. Because of a lack of direct attachment between subscription and the current market conditions of computing components, people are like, what the hell? Really? We're going to get that stingy that we're going to start increasing the price of accessing online functionalities by $1, by $3 per month and per 3 months respectively? This post,
I still think it's crazy that they're doing that they're increasing it. Nothing really changed during for that subscription service. The only thing that changes is the price. That's it. Nothing else. No quality of it really has made it better.
This continues with, there is no market condition that should result in what is a free service on PC to consistently increase in price just because you're on console. Now, one potential argument one could make is that by increasing prices for the PlayStation Plus Essential subscription, that's mitigating potential price increases for console hardware. They're trying to find other areas in their platform and business where they can increase prices so that the base price of the consoles themselves don't have to be increased yet again. But when we're looking at a scenario where the base PlayStation 5 costs $650 for the disc version and $600 for the digital version, and the PS5 Pro now costs $900,
it's just crazy. Like a base PS5 is now, pretty much all of them are premium prices, but it's just crazy that a base PlayStation or a base Xbox is now a premium priced console. For the digital version, and the PS5 Pro now costs $900. At what point is it enough? How much further can they take this market condition justification to keep increasing prices in areas where those price increases should not be happening? As long as RAM prices are still on the rise, who knows, GPUs as well. Anywhere in the components for hardware of consoles, it's going to shoot up. It's going to keep going up. It doesn't matter what it is. And then again, they're going to get really drastic when they're like, hey, we're not selling enough consoles, we're not selling enough consoles, but everybody's still on the previous generation, which would be our current one right now. So say for instance, PS6 is out and Project Helix is out. Yeah, you'll have a few people playing on Helix, but you won't have people who are playing on Helix in PlayStation 6. My apologies, but a lot of people are either playing on PC or people are playing on Series X and PS5 Pros. And the reason why is because nobody wants to pay like $1,000 for the new consoles, and then on top of that, continue paying a certain amount, like $80 a month or whatever, or $80 a year for like their online subscriptions. They don't want to do that. What they would do is, if people are not buying enough of their new consoles, they'll raise the price of the current console, or of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X again, or they'll stop making production, or what they do is they'll increase the subscription prices again. And then the fourth option, which I think is the last one, which is a possibility, which would be very stupid as well, is that eventually they'll stop making games on the PS5 Pros and on the Xbox Series X, and then they're like, hey, these games are only for Project Helix and for PS6, which would have to force people to play games on those consoles. So it's kind of weird because like now you have exclusivity, not for like the platforms themselves, but for the generation. That's something like a lot of people, not many people talk about either, is generational exclusivity. And this is something I always talked about, and like this is something I combat against for a while, is when people say like, how come the next like or the previous Call of Duty and stuff like that, they're like, if we weren't releasing the game still on the Xbox One and the PS4, we'd have a better looking Call of Duty. But the thing is, if you look at what game is it? If you look at Call of Duty World War II, like graphically, if you look at that game, I did a playthrough of the campaign, but if you look at that game, it looks really, really, really good. There's a lot of games on the 360 era, like from the 360 PS3 era, and for like the PS4 Xbox One era, where the graphics look really, 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 really good. And my question is like, how do you go higher than that? Because the games that I've seen, majority of the games that I've seen that that are in the PS5 and the Xbox Series X era don't look that great. They don't. It almost looks like a downgrade to what we had before. Maybe because it's the lack of optimizations, I don't know. But the quality of the games that we see now compared to a good amount of games in the 360 to Xbox One and PS3 to PS4 era, like I'm just saying, like those games, the quality games in that era were way better. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just wanted to go on around a little bit about that. So yeah.
Especially when it concerns a service that is paywalling just basic online features that should never be paywalled in the first place. I mean, once upon a time, the base
Xbox always had it.
PS5 with disc was $500 rather than $650.
Yep.
The PS5 digital edition was $450, and a PS5 Pro was $750 instead of $900. We're talking about an across the board $150 price increase.
Yep.
Insane, when these console prices should be depreciating over time, as has been traditional prior to,
of course,
this generation of consoles, where this is happening for the first.
And the prices are increasing because of what? Because now you're getting an updated console. Is that it? Is that pretty much what it is? Again, what people are going to do is they're just going to go to like their mom and pop shop. Hey, did somebody sell a PS5 Pro? Did somebody sell an Xbox Series X 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte? Oh, okay. How much you guys pay? Like, how much are you guys selling this for? Oh, selling it for $700. All right, it's still a little high, but okay, cool. I'll buy it. That's what they'll do.
First time in gaming history. At what point do consumers have to take the full brunt of the economic conditions, of market conditions, and not the companies themselves? Yeah, this is one scenario where market conditions is just not an excuse people are buying, with folks saying things like, imagine paying to play online, or, here's another top comment saying, market conditions, bitch, it's a digital service. And all of this comes amidst Xbox lowering their subscription prices for Game Pass. Recall that back in April of 2026, Ashish Sharma announced that Game Pass Ultimate would drop from $30 a month, which was a ridiculous new price point, to $23 a month, and PC Game Pass will drop from $16.50 a month to $14 a month.
Now, it's not a drastic change, but you are saving a good amount of money in your pocket. Let's put that one.
Now, to be fair, this is very much a case of like 2 steps forward and 1.5 steps back. So there's still a bit of a price increase from where it was before.
Yeah.
But still, a price drop for a subscription is almost unheard of. And the fact that this move did happen is still ultimately a good thing. And amidst this, PlayStation coming out with price increases for their subscriptions, it's just not a good look. Especially,
I honestly would just prefer if they had Xbox Live. If they did Xbox Live Gold and then they did games with Gold, if they ever brought that back, oh yeah, you got my vote. You got my vote for everything. If you guys do not know what Xbox Live Games for Gold was, it's basically if you bought your Xbox Live subscription, if you're currently an Xbox Live Gold member, by either 1 month, 3 months, or 1 year, every single month they had a series of games that are out for free that you're able to just download for free, and you would have it, like you would have the license and everything for all time. Doesn't matter if your account went to silver, which means like you're no longer a gold member. It doesn't matter. You would still be able to play that game no matter what. Compared to Game Pass, where it's like, you know, hey, you bought the subscription for it and everything, and then you're downloading the game, you're playing the game, right, at a cheaper price. Now, the thing is, if your Game Pass were to end randomly, if you were playing the game and your Game Pass ended, I don't know, midnight the next day, then it would kick you off and say like, hey, your subscription has ended. You need to re-up your subscription, which would suck. That's just why I liked stuff back then.
Especially when PlayStation Plus Essential in particular is pretty bare bones and doesn't offer anywhere near as much as Game Pass does. Now, I want to emphasize that Xbox is no different. They too require you to have at least the Essential Xbox Game Pass subscription in order to play games online, and that's also something that should be eradicated. So Xbox is also very much guilty of this. But at least Game Pass Ultimate, with all the games that it offers at this
again, people are just people on Xbox are not like as agitated as PlayStation were, because again, we've been charged for online services since the beginning of Xbox Live. It's just, it is what it is. So we have been used to it. We're kind of like numb to it. PlayStation, understandable, because PlayStation Plus was free, or what was it? PSN was free during the PS3, PS4 era, if I recall. They were free.
Reduced price point, it feels more justifiable, whereas taking the entry point of PlayStation Plus and increasing prices there, knowing that the majority of people are partaking in that subscription model amidst the current economic conditions, amidst current market conditions that are not only impacting businesses, it's impacting consumers as well.
Yep. To
increase prices for the majority of your subscription base, again, just really, really awful look. And
I'm gonna say this hot take, right? Hot take. If you buy a PS5 Pro, I don't know, it may be a hot take, it may be I don't know. Take it how you want to. But if you spend $900 buying a PS5 Pro, or if you spend, I don't know how much, whatever the price is for an Xbox Series X 2 terabyte, right? If you purchase those consoles, the premium price consoles, they should like either Microsoft or Sony, they should automatically give you online subscription for a year, like with the console. They should, because again, paying nearly $1,000 for that console should be, they should give you some sort of subscription for a year, like give you the subscription for a year to be like, wow, you are dedicated, like you really, you know, wanted to invest into, you know, the company and things like that and help us out. Like, we should at least give you this, you know. The reason why I say that is because even when I bought my new graphics card, which was the 4070 Ti Super, when I was upgrading it, I got it through Newegg. When I bought it, I didn't realize that until like I received the GPU, that I got a free game key to Indiana Jones, the latest Indiana Jones games. I was about to say in the Hidden Circle, the Full Circle, something like that. You guys know the latest Indiana Jones game. I had a game key for that, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. So just saying, like something like that, they should be like, yeah, you pay $900 for a system. First of all, you're out of your mind, and second of all, you deserve a yearly subscription on us because of that. Should be.
All of it looks even more cynical when you consider something that IGN pointed out in their article reporting on this, how all of this, the PlayStation Plus price hike that is affecting essential subscribers, those who are in the 1 month subscription or the 3 month subscription, comes 6 months before the planned release of Grand Theft Auto 6, which is bound to draw a lot of people to current generation consoles and force them to subscribe to subscriptions like PlayStation Plus Essential for when GTA Online 2 comes out, and that's probably a big part of the plan. An extra $1 for the 1 month subscription, an extra $3 for the 3 month subscription. When you take into account the overall user base as well as the new user base that they'll garner from GTA 6's online release, like that adds up to quite a bit of money, and that's where Sony and PlayStation's strategy is at, to try to, make some profits out of current market conditions. But there comes a point where even under current market conditions, like enough is enough. You've already increased your console prices twice, and the stinginess of increasing subscription prices in this day and age for consumers who are also going through it under current market conditions, and it being a subscription that paywalls some of the most essential features in gaming that should not be paywalled, all of it, just that adds that insult to injury. So yeah, people,
and again, it's like the video game to console price, and I'm sorry, how to say it. The video game to console price and subscription based ratio, it's way off. Like Sony exclusive titles or anything like that, like does it equate to that price? I already said it earlier. I asked this earlier, but does it equate to buying a older console that's like almost double the price, right?
Are pissed, and rightfully so, I think. And it just feels like gaming as a hobby is becoming less and less accessible. And it's this like race to the bottom for these companies as they make decisions that ultimately will end up alienating their community. And this is why I'm glad competition exists, because it feels like we flip-flop between PlayStation and Xbox becoming the more successful platform, and then the more successful entity becoming really cocky and starting to make really dumb moves, and that allows the other one to make better decisions that then puts the other one behind. But then like when they start succeeding, they get cocky and start making cocky decisions that allow the other one to kind of supersede them in these areas. And I feel like Asher Sharma has been making a lot of good decisions for Xbox lately, and hopefully that's a role that continues, whereas PlayStation continues to make these decisions that is making people raise an eyebrow on PlayStation as a platform. And I feel like this is a pattern that we'll see throughout the history of competition, but that's where competition is beneficial, because it keeps everyone kind of in check because of the fact that they're competing against each other. I think PlayStation's cockiness in moves like these will bite them in the ass in the long term. It's something that the gaming community will let them know, and hopefully it will lead them to making better decisions or reversing certain decisions. There's a long-term game to play when it comes to brand loyalty, and this is not the move that will facilitate that. I suppose only time will tell how all of this will ultimately impact PlayStation. Maybe ultimately the impact will be minimal enough that PlayStation will be able to get away with this, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's still a good move or that it's a move that will be received positively and something that people won't remember if PlayStation continues making these kinds of anti-consumer decisions as time passes amidst current economic market conditions. That again, like companies act like it only impacts them, but consumers are there in that rough road as well. PlayStation couldn't have picked a worse time to try to pull a maneuver like this. And the insistence on using market conditions to justify every awful decision like this is just something that's getting tiresome to the gaming community, and something that will not fly by with every maneuver that you make. But that,
I mean, honestly, what they should just say exactly why. Say specifically why. Numbers were down due to things that are at the company, but then again, it's going to look bad. They're like, oh, well, it looks like they did terrible. At least it would make it sound really bad that the company had to increase because of something like, I don't know, they didn't meet expectations, things like that. But at least the consumer base would know, and they'd be like, okay, it seems justifiable, maybe. But using this whole market conditions thing, people are like, dude, just say it. You guys didn't meet sales. You guys didn't meet the expected sales numbers, so that's why you guys are jacking up prices.
Folks, is ultimately one man's take. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on the PlayStation Plus price increase and the mass backlash surrounding it. Do you think it's ultimately not a big deal? It's just $1 per month or an extra $3 per 3 months? Or do you feel like this is as cynical and worthy of outrage as we're seeing in online discourse? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
All right. So go ahead and link this in the chat. Oh man, but yeah, it's insane. Let me go put it in Rumble too, so if you guys want to check that out, you guys totally can. There you go. Boom. Nice. All right, but yeah, it is crazy to see with like everything that's going on with this, like with this just gaming and in general, prices going up, subscription wise and things like that. And again, it's tough. It's really tough when discussing about the whole if people should buy a console or just buy a PC, like buy a desktop or buy a laptop. Who knows? If I were to choose between a desktop and a laptop, I would choose a desktop. But the thing is, it all depends on, you know, are you always on the go? Are you usually at home? Things like that. If you're always on the go, buy a laptop. But then if you're always, you know, if you're always at home, buy a desktop. You know, doesn't hurt. You know, things like that. But then again, I understand people with consoles, because consoles is like, hey, you know, I just set it up, I plug it up, I just plug in everything, I'm good. That's it. If people want to stream, they can just immediately go to like, they can just go over to the setting on, I know for on Xbox, go over to a setting, hit broadcast, you set your title and everything, and then link your Twitch account to your Xbox and be like, boom, you're done. And then you just play the game. It updates the game that you're playing and things like that. I will say that sometimes playing on PC is also because you get a little extra settings. You get to adjust what you want. You don't need to have frame generation, future frame gens and stuff like that. You don't need to. If you guys want to crank the settings up, you totally can. I know with the Xbox, it's more like a, hey, there's performance mode and there's quality, and that's it. And there's balance, but you don't get to change certain things. Like you don't get to change like texture. Like you don't get to individually change the texture, the anti-aliasing and stuff like that. You don't get to do those. Last I recall, you don't get to do those. A good example is Helldivers. Helldivers 2, it's like you have performance, which makes everything look sharper, looks low quality, but very sharp. Or you get quality, which it looks nice, but you get this bloomy looking feeling. This bloomy look to it. And the thing is, you can't remove the bloom. You have to, I don't know why I had to say it like that, but you don't get to remove the bloom for it. You get to, like, if you want to remove the bloom, you have to set everything to performance, which everything looks very sharp and very, not pixelated, but everything looks super sharp. So that's it. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about, you know, console price increases and subscription price increases. Like, are you guys gonna continue getting subscriptions, or would this be like the final straw for you to like be like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to buy a PC? I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts in your comments about this. And yeah, Salvatino, see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.